good morning, everyone. I hope you
Good
guys are
morning.
having a great Saturday. Hello?
Good morning. I'm trying to start my phone. Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, well, good morning, guys. I'm off to a bad start, but I'm here.
You say you feel bad.
I said I'm off to a bad start, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to
I'm
get my
here.
life together. I'm here in Jesus' name. Yes.
So how was the kids' first week of school?
They are not registered yet.
Oh,
They will probably be registered next week because. Well, let me tell you about these people. Let me tell you about this situation. So I get down here. So I get down here, and I got everything that I need. I got everything that I need to get them registered for school because I did everything ahead of time. I prepared myself. I got everything done ahead of time. I got their transfer stuff. I gave their laptops back. Everything that I needed to do from the other school. I get down here, and they
From
can't
their
tell
school,
me
from your school.
from their school in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So I got everything I need. I got the immunization records. I got all the transfer forms, everything like that. These people keep telling me I have to have some document, a utility bill with my name on it. I said, ma'am, I just got here. Even if I had a utility, I would not, you know what I'm saying? I would not get a bill for at least a month.
A month. Right.
Oh, I'm over it. Yeah, so I have to go and because I asked them because when I called, I asked them. I said, was it can I just use? I'm with can I just use my mother-in-law's information because you know she stays down here. No, you have to have some type of utility with your name in it. Well, I don't have anything. I haven't had any mail transfer. Nothing has came to me yet, ma'am. I just got here.
Mm.
So then the lady was like, "Oh, you have to go through the board." Something about like you have to go. She has to verify with the principal, and then see if I have to go to the board and write a letter up. So I said, "So you mean to tell me my son can't go to school? So we live in North Carolina. That's what she's telling me.
Right.
So what am I supposed to come in and go back to mine? That's what I asked her. I said, so am I supposed to come back and go back to mine? No, I just have to figure out what needs to be done. Ma'am, I'm pretty sure. I know. That's what I was thinking, Nate. I was gonna go and call the Board of Education because it's ridiculous. Because I'm like, I've never heard of anything like that. I didn't have the problem when I moved down here the first time. I didn't have the problem when
Right.
I moved back to Maryland. I didn't have the problem. The only issue that I had was that the lady at the elementary school kept telling me my license had to have my address, and I'm like, ma'am, I don't even have a Baltimore license. I just got. What is with these schools? This lady kept telling me my address I had to have my Maryland address. When I got to Maryland, she told me I had to have the secretary at the front. Told me that I had to have my Maryland address on my driver's license. Ma'am, I just got back to Maryland. I don't even have a Maryland driver's license. I don't have to have a driver's license technically for 30 days. I'm not going to change my daggone license over. I haven't been here for 5 years, which means what? I will probably have to take the test, right?
I think so.
I'm not
So
doing
wait a
that
minute,
just to change
where's
the
your
address.
driver's license now? Like what state is your driver's license with?
It's in Maryland.
Oh.
No, I'm
And she
talking
wants
about when
you
I
to do
moved to Maryland. When I moved to Maryland, the same thing happened. The secretary at the front kept telling me that I had to have that I had to have a Maryland driver's license, even though I kept trying to tell her, man, I just got here. Only here a week. She said, "Oh, well, your license has to have I have to have a Maryland driver license." No, you don't have to have a mass driver's license. I'm not changing my driver's license over just so you can make a copy. You gotta figure it out.
Right.
So I waited till what I did was it was another secretary. I waited till the other secretary came. She scanned my stuff. I said, "You don't need nothing else?" She said, "No." I said, "Oh, thank you. They will be here tomorrow." That's what I was.
Right. That's all
They
you need is a
just
letter from
been
the
giving me a very hard time. I tried that too, Nate. That's what the lady, she said, "No, every school is different. We can't take the letter." I tried that too, Nate. That's what all the other schools was telling me. Other schools like, "Yeah, we can take it, but we need da 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 da." So I asked her, I said, she
And you
keeps
have
trying to
to
tell
do
me
this
the
for
schools.
three different schools? Or
Yes, they saying the schools is different. That's not how it works. They
so
have
for three
to
different schools, they
verify.
give three different rules.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I still remember the information for the board of education. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call over to the board of education and figure out what needs to be done. Cause I cussed that lady out. I called her back. I said, "So let me get this straight. My kid basically," I said, "Understand this. I'm coming from Maryland. Understand this. My kid's education is important. I'm not about to be sitting up here for 2 and 3 weeks with them out of school. So is this gonna take 2 to 3 weeks for you to figure out? Because that's almost a semester that they've missed because y'all trying to figure out what to do. I'm pretty sure this is not the first situation that you've had where kids have moved out of state or into state. So you know what to do. So I'm just trying to figure this out. But the other thing was, and I'm not saying nothing bad because I have Indian friends. That lady was Indian. And I found that the last time that I was down here, a lot of those Indians, the Indians that are down here, they have an issue with African Americans. And I feel like that's why the problem is coming upon me because of that. I kind of feel like that. I'm trying not to feel like that because I have Native American friends, so I'm trying not to feel like that. But I have heard
Right,
that.
right.
And
Don't
the
call us speaking
last
up. You better be going off.
the last time that we lived here, Kylie had a Native American teacher and she gave him the hardest time. He was only in like first or kindergarten. And he kept not writing his name on his paper. And so she kept calling me for something that frivolous. He's just giving me a hard time. He's not putting his name on the paper. Write it on the paper. He only in kindergarten. I think there's something more going on. What? So you try to call me a crackhead? What you mean you think something more going on? What's more? What more going on? I just, he's just giving me
So
a hard.
Nick, you
So
was
you
okay.
calling
You
my child a bad
let me
child
tell you,
because he's not writing his name on his paper?
Nick, you would
So
piss
that's
me
what he's
off. You
telling
calling
me.
my phone for every little thing. I will block your number, and you will wonder why you don't hear from me.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
You
definitely
get this.
gonna go.
Stop calling me for
to-
every little thing you did.
Well, the thing is, I do have a couple of friends that stay down that when I stayed here before, and they switched over to Keisha, so I can talk to them to see what needs to be done, or if this lady's just be after me and I need to go around her. Um, but it was just she literally, and then she was trying to tell me she was like, "Well, if you put that you're homeless, you can kind of." I'm not putting I'm homeless, and then she's like, "Cause what you can do is you can just put that you're homeless, and then what you'll just have to do is talk to the counselor, have a meeting with the counselor, and then they'll
Stop
just
it.
write a
This is
form
not
up."
the day is not right.
I
I'm not
promise that's
tomorrow is
what
jumping in
this
my face.
lady told me. She
Yes,
literally stood outside.
you
Black
doing too
Roses.
much.
She the lady pulled me to the side outside and told me to say that I'm homeless.
I would say. I mean, because you're not
That's
homeless, but
what
technically
I
you are.
heard. That's,
I mean, I
but
would
this
because
is,
that seems like that would be the only way to get some help.
but I'm not about to sit here and talk to no counselor and downplay myself being homeless. Man, if you don't put me in this, if you don't put this boy in this school, we're gonna have a problem. This might be a whole lawsuit that you don't want, that your county can't afford. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Because I know these kids can get to school. I've been here before. And really, the other two schools asked me, they was like, have they been to the school? Have they been to a Robertson County public school before? I'm like, yeah. So they was like, okay, that's fine. Both of them have been to the school before, so I feel like maybe that's what I need to do. I feel like I need to go around her and then over top of her because she playing games with me, and she got the right one. I literally had this. I called her and I'm like, ma'am, how long is this going to take for you to figure this out? Because I don't play around with my child's education. You're not going to be sitting here. It's not okay for him to be out of school for a couple of days.
The
It's
social
not
worker
okay.
will be
I
called,
don't
and
play his,
CPS will be at the school the next day.
I don't play with his education. He's playing around. You better figure this out. You got till Tuesday. School bell will back up. Me and my son will be at the school. He'll be in the school building. He will be at class. We're not playing these games with you. But yeah, that's how my week went. I'm just not having a good week. Just this day going whole. I don't know. I came back here. I feel like I want to turn back around. There's too much going on. There's too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to turn back around. It's not how it was the first time I came here. The first time I came here, everything was so easy.
Girl, that's because you didn't have to be in cheering when you first came there, neither.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
The
They
way she
playing in
just
my
said
face. They got the right one. They playing in my face. They got the right one though, because they playing in my face. Don't make me call Big Angie up here. If I got to call Big Angie up here, it's gonna get real ugly.
Okay, take your earpiece out because it's causing static.
Take it out. Okay.
Well, this week has been a very good week for me. What's all that noise? Okay. This week has been an okay week for me. It's been iffy. But I wanted to just say this, that yesterday was a very, very, very traumatic day yesterday I feel like for the whole Baltimore city. And I really, really, really feel like even for the kids, I am so heartbroken over the chain of events that happened yesterday. And it is so sad that kids are losing their lives to kids, and I am just baffled at just what the whole yesterday, like my heart goes out to each one of those kids' parents, and even to the kids who were also who were the shooters. I just am really, really heartbroken over what happened yesterday. It was just a really traumatic day for high school kids in general, and I am so heartbroken for each family member, for anybody who was touched by these kids' lives. I am so sorry that this is happening to you guys. I am really, really, really heartbroken because no one expects to send their child to school, and ultimately for him or her to not return home is the most outrageous thing you could ever think of. And I know we live in a city like Baltimore, and I know, everybody say this, that, and the third, but when it comes down to kids killing kids, that shit hits a whole nother level of what the fuck is going on. And it went from one school to the next, and I am so, and then the boy that, the youngest one that got killed was 14 years old. Like, what the hell is going on in this city? Why is everybody so angry? Why is kids picking up guns? Like, my heart is just really feel. Huh?
How do they know how to shoot how do they know how to use the guns, take the safety off and things like that? That's my issue. That is something
that's so much for me, Nate. I'm angry because it's like, why nobody is talking to these people? Why do they feel like this is the ultimate result? I have to take this boy life. So Angie, yesterday, after school, a kid left another high school in Baltimore and went to Mervo and subsequently shot another kid in the head, and he died. This was right after school let out. Then last night at a Milford Mill basketball game, another 14-year-old boy got shot and killed outside of the football game. I'm sorry. So two young men, one was 18 and the little boy that Milford Mill, I think he was 14, lost their lives for senselessness. Like, it was just senseless violence. I don't know like the details of everything, but from my understanding with the Mervo kid, I think they had like an argument or something and the boy just shot him. I just feel bad for the kids that were like standing there, like for them to be standing there probably watching what's going on, seeing what's happening, and then bam, their friend gets killed. This boy, from my understanding, was a really good student. He played football. He was a really good kid and just got into an argument with somebody and they subsequently shot him. I don't know the details behind the little boy that got killed at Milford last night. I don't know the details surrounding that, but hopefully more will come out. But they said the problem is they're closing schools, which is causing neighborhood violence. But here's my thing that baffled me, though, and I talked to somebody about this last night. If this boy left his school to go up Mervo to shoot another kid, he had this gun on him all day at school. Like, did you go to school that day? And if you did, you had that gun on you all day? All day at school? That means you left your school. When your school got out, you left early, you walked out, whatever the case may be. You went to Mervo, all the way up Mervo, to get into an argument with another child to shoot and kill him? Not once, multiple times. They say he shot him multiple times, which means you just was just like, you know,
you know how to done.
And I'm happy that the Baltimore City schools police officers was on the scene, so they got him real quick. They ran after him, they chased his ass down, so they did capture him, and they did also get the boy who shot the child outside the football game up Milford Mill yesterday too. So that's okay, but at the same time, y'all are throwing y'all lives away for what? Y'all haven't even begun to live your life. And if you look at the pictures of the people of the two of the boys, like, you'll be like, yo, they babies. They're babies.
This is the issue. Where they? Well, it's not the issue, but that's what I want to know. Is a question for me. Where are the parents at? Like, how did your child get access? How did either child get access to either gun? Did you not have your guns tied up? Second of all, did y'all have your guns locked up in a secure place? Second of all, how do they know how to use these guns? This couldn't have been the first time for them to actively, because that means they would have had to fiddle a little bit. If they didn't know how to use the gun, I mean, they would have had to fiddle a little bit, just enough for somebody to come and tackle them down. So that means that the first time that they've had access to these weapons for them to know how to use them.
That's it right there, Nate. It's the adults in the comments for me. Like, it is so.
Who are the people that are around your kids? You're not watching your kids around us, because if they didn't learn how to shoot the gun from you, they learn how to do it from somewhere.
I mean, but it don't take much to learn how to shoot a gun. I mean, I've never shot a gun before neither, but when I went to the gun range, I knew how to cock that trigger and cock that thing and pull that trigger, because that's all it is to it. It ain't like, but it's not like they're 5-year-olds. These are teenage Baltimore City teenage boys.
That's what I'm saying. It don't take a lot, but it does take enough to know how to unlock the gun and think. You have to know certain things. When I first started going to the gun range, I didn't know anything about a gun. I didn't know anything about safety, how to load the gun, things like that. These are things that had to be learned. It ain't science, but it does take some knowledge and someone to be around, or for them to be around someone to see how it's done. Well, I mean, you can learn it on YouTube too. So no, I take that back. You're right, because I have watched
anything anywhere. You can learn it anywhere. You could Google. You can Google. You can just about learn anything on the internet.
About that, because I was kind of nervous when I started going to the gun range, so I did watch a couple YouTube videos. I wouldn't look all crazy trying to load my gun and stuff like that. I was like, let me watch some of these. But the thing is, I don't know. It's just so many variables. It's like, what point did he punk you that bad? Y'all kids scared to fight nowadays. Y'all scared to fight. Y'all rather shoot than fight, so you rather lose your life, take somebody else's life, and now both y'all life lost. rather than a fight and everybody go home. And then if you angry, go fight again. And then if you're angry, go fight again. Like, y'all scared to take an ass whooping. Y'all kids is really scared to take
real Caucasian, Nate. Real Caucasian. I had to look at her sideways. She know.
What?
She know.
What
she knows. She ain't crazy, Nate. She ain't crazy.
I can't see the
Kid acting real funny right now. And I will say some things, but Kid acting real funny right now. It don't take nothing for a person to learn how to pick up a gun and shoot it. It ain't nothing to it. It ain't hard. It's not hard. It is not hard. You think about all the kids who mistakenly shoot their brother or sister. A 6-year-old shot a 3-year-old by mistake. It's nothing to pick up a gun and just pull the trigger. It's nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Playing with the gun.
BB guns. Yeah, they learn from BB guns, water guns, all that. Like, it's nothing. It is nothing to pick up a gun and just shoot it.
But BB guns are still, they're still set in. I hate y'all. They are still, you still load a gun a different way. You still load a regular gun a different way from the way you load a BB gun. So it's still a difference. There's some type of difference there.
Nobody out here in America is having an unloaded gun. This is America. It is 2022. Nobody is walking around with an unloaded gun. That gun is already preloaded. 9 times out of 10, loading it and shooting it is different. That is correct. But 9 times out of 10, the gun already got the little clip in it. All you gotta do is cock that bitch back, bam, pull a trigger. That's it. Ain't nothing to it. Ain't nobody walking around here with their safety on. No.
What I'm saying is the overall issue is how these
even
kids,
Javante Davis said it. Ain't no safety on this Glock. You heard him. Ain't no safety on. That means we ready, we locked, and we loaded. We ready to go. But it's no safety on the Glock. No safety.
But what I'm saying is, why are these guns so accessible to these kids? Is my issue. Why are they so accessible to these kids to get to? That's the issue that I have.
On the street.
You keep hearing the same story.
And her husband is ghetto. Her husband is ghetto. He is from Emerson Village. He is ghetto.
No, he not. David is from North Carolina. What you talking about? David from North Carolina. He lived on Emerson Avenue, but he ain't. That boy is a nerd. That boy ain't no daggone ghetto. He's a daggone nerd. He watches daggone anime. He watches anime and history channels. Yes, I'm gonna dumb him down. I'm gonna call him out. Gemma, I can't.
They got more guns than black people. So do the killers. Right. The killers ain't walking around like I'm a killer. No, these niggas is watching History Channel, reading books and everything too. They just don't get them twisted because they gonna shoot you. Don't get them twisted. Every killer ain't on a corner.
Okay, I don't know how to do it.
But it's I'm just saying, like, this is mind-boggling and baffling that we are sending our kids to school having no idea if they're going to return. I know that as a parent is very I feel so heartbroken. When I read that yesterday and that came across my screen on a Citizen app, I was like, what the fudge? Somebody got shot. And then when I seen everybody start posting like he died, this, that, and the third, it was just like, what the heck? And then last night when people were posting about the Milford, like, check on your kids at Milford, you were like, what? Check on you? It's just, I don't know. And I am so sorry. My heart and my thoughts and prayers, and I know that ain't going to do much, goes out to those families. And like I said, even to the families of the shooters, because they got to deal with that backlash too. They got to deal with the questions with the people that's asking, like what Kid is asking, how, why, where did this come from? What, they have to deal with that backlash too. And nothing like, not the fake county school. Yeah, stuff like that happen in the county all the time. County schools are getting up to be the worst, for real. County schools are getting to be bad too. That's because, that's another story on a different show. I ain't even gonna say what I was about to say about that. But county schools are getting bad too. County schools are getting bad too.
That conversation started.
But I'm so shocked that yesterday was really a horrible day for just Baltimore all around. Like, and then
of the storm here.
Also, to top it off, the 19-year-old security guard who got killed at the apartments up Morgan. Like, I felt so bad just reading the comments, even with that. Like, they were saying that this was this boy's first job. Okay, so a couple of days ago, a security guard got killed up some apartments up by Morgan. He was patrolling that area, so they killed him. But hold up, though. I just wanted to say this. I was reading the comments from a couple of days ago, and they were saying, like, oh, yeah, all the security guards always get robbed up there. Excuse me? Why are y'all putting people in these apartments to patrol and do security, and they getting robbed? Excuse me? One lady said that when she got the job and they told her what she'll be patrolling, they told her, just know, you'll get robbed up there. You'll get robbed. I'd quit that day. I would have quit my job that fucking day. Because ain't no way in hell you going to tell me I'm going into a place of work and I have to patrol them and I'm going to get robbed. No, ma'am. Quit. Instant. Quit. I quit.
So real quick, so I moved my studio off of Harford Road, so I have to drive through Morgan, getting home, and it's the east side is very different. Like the west side is not so many pockets. It's not a lot of pockets. East side has, and it's seemingly really nice, quiet communities, but like around Morgan is a lot of pockets and there's a lot of dark spots. And I see the security officers in their uniform and they're standing out on the various areas, like just patrolling or just standing guard. But it is I can see how someone could get robbed in the area, and it's a nice quiet, but it's so secluded. They have a lot of secluded spots, even in the open spaces. There's secluded spots all over East, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Because I said I wouldn't, if I broke down or the car I was in broke, I would not get out.
I would not. I keep going till I get to some light. But listen, it kind of reminds me of how Johns Hopkins University has their patrol officers. You know how around in Charles Village, around like the 33rd area, they have like the security guards patrolling, walking up and down the streets and things of that nature. You don't see shit like that happening over there, even though it's right off of Greenmount and even though it's right off of 33rd. You don't see them getting robbed. You don't hear about them getting shot. You don't hear too much about those security officers over there who's walking up and down these streets, who are walking up and down these back alleys and who are walking up and down these things. I don't really hear anything too much about them getting robbed or they got shot. They have 24-hour security. It happens. It's maybe. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. This has been a really, really, really rough week in Baltimore, and a lot of people have lost their lives this week, and I feel so bad just for the family members. And then there's also this one guy who got murdered. He had 6 kids. 6 kids, and they were little children. They weren't like no older kids. They were like the picture that they showed on Murder Inc. That man had, I think the oldest one might have been 8 years old. Might have been. I don't even think he was 8. He looked 8. No. This is a whole nother guy that got killed. The security guard was only 19 years old, girl. He was 19 and that was his first job. 19, his first job. And bam, go get killed. Yeah,
it's getting really nasty out here. It's really getting really nasty. It's getting really.
I can blame too much on the mayor because I can a little bit because he can bring in like the National Guard, like people were saying like that, to patrol, put us on curfew. But these niggas is killing people, and the police is sitting right there. Look at the shooting that happened on Frankfurt and Sinclair in the broad daylight when the dudes hopped out the car, and the police be right there all day long at that gas station. They be right there in that parking lot all day long, the police do. Them boys hopped up out that car and just shot them boys up like that. Look at what happened with Park Heist and Shirley last week. when the dudes hopped out the car, broad daylight. These guys are getting bolder. They don't care no more. If you look at the video when they hopped out that car on Park and Shirley, it was broad daylight. Broad daylight. They would have said the man if they could.
Can I ask a question? Y'all keep using this word "getting" as if cities, Baltimore or cities like Baltimore ain't already bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now it's starting to happen to the U's. So now, oh no, that happened in the hood neighborhood. That don't happen at Coppin. That don't happen at Morgan. That don't happen in these nicer neighborhoods that are isolated. I didn't mean to say Coppin. I meant to say Morgan. It don't happen there. But now it's getting bad because now in my nice neighborhood where I pay my expensive rent or my mortgage, it's happening. But it's been happening.
But it's been
your neighborhood is just not reporting it.
And you said some kids don't have parents to talk to them. They learned it from the street, and all they know is that's it. All they know is the street, and ain't nobody out here gonna try to convince them otherwise. Because 9 times out of 10, they talking to somebody who's just as stupid as they are to be like, man, I do this to a nigga. Nigga do this to me. I'm gonna do this to a nigga. And it's like you're not even thinking about the consequence that child or that person may have down the line. It's ridiculous how Baltimore is just becoming a cesspool of negativity, and I myself is like, I don't know how much longer I can take this. Now, even though, and I'm gonna just say this, even though there's violence everywhere in America. Of course, we live in Baltimore, so we only know what's going on in Baltimore, so we think Baltimore is bad. But there's violence everywhere in America, no matter where you go. Major cities, there's always going to be violence. I want to just say that. But it's coming to the point where, like, damn, where can you go?
Right.
Where can you go? Right. And I feel like as a community of Black people, we have to do better with advising our children, advising our families, and just talking to each other. We have a hard time of thinking that we don't have anybody to talk to. I don't got nobody I can tell my problems to, and I can't go to a therapist because that seemed like, I ain't crazy. I ain't no psychic. I mean, I ain't psychotic. I ain't schizophrenic. When therapy is more than just for crazy people. Therapy is for healing. Therapy is for bettering of your mind.
You are now crossing that threshold because you no longer feel that you are invincible. See, when you was younger, you hung around the same people that was doing this or were associated with people that were doing this. But now you are now getting old, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Kay is turning into. Some middle-aged white lady, but for
middle-aged Karen.
But for Crystal, this is what happens. It happens because at first it doesn't happen to me until it's on your doorstep, until you are 1 or 2 friends removed from this happening, or your girlfriend or your cousin called you up and it's their neighbor or their child. But this has been happening to people the whole time. Violence, murder, robbing, stealing, it ain't just happening. It been happening.
It been going on.
And people start turning their heads because it wasn't my family. It wasn't none of my friends. But now it is. So now what? What are we going to do? Blame the mayor?
I've always had a soft spot for when I don't even know why I follow Murder Inc., but I do. And I've been following them for a while. Even when it was just a little column in the city paper, I always read it. But it still makes me to this day. And even when I go on there, I see that somebody was fatally shot. I'll be like, damn. And then now it's happening to women more.
Do you know at the end of every year? Do you know at the end of the year they do a theatrical performance of Murder Inc. for the year?
Yeah, and they put all the names of all the people that passed away for that year together. Yeah. Absolutely.
This has been happening. Like, it's not new. I think we're starting to see it more because of social media, where the Murder Incs. and the various
And
blogs on the internet.
Baltimore cuts and all the various
But
pages
it's
on
the same
Instagram.
way. It's the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
way. And we keep
yeah.
allowing people to move to our communities, these white people that's gentrifying, and they call our community. I'm gonna send y'all a link on YouTube. There's a man who goes around Baltimore and he does videos of the worst spaces in Baltimore. And this type of behavior it is a white man. And he's driving down North Avenue taking photos of people. Like somebody may be on there. A neighborhood that you live in or you be in may be on there. And this is what happens. And we just been turning a blind eye because it didn't affect us. Now it's your child that's in the grave.
Right.
And even for me, it didn't affect me until I saw my grandmother tied up on her living room floor. Or I saw the video in court of my little cousin getting shot by somebody who got mad because he took his girlfriend. Like it's real. You ever walk into a school? I just went to the emergency room on Wednesday night, and there was a metal detector in the motherfucking hospital.
Mm.
I had to walk through and get patted down in what
It's
was
In the
Maryland
hospital.
General Hospital.
Wow.
And it bothers me when I see it in schools. I understand it when I'm in certain federal buildings or government buildings, but I walked into the emergency room. I was an injured person.
That's what I was gonna say. You got to get pat down to be seen. That's
I'm
crazy.
I'm limping. You know how Maryland General, their emergency room, you had to walk down a couple stairs to get into the emergency room. I am limping to the steps, limping down the steps, and the security officer is just standing there. And it's not like, oh, let me get you a wheelchair. No, sir. You got to walk through this metal detector first.
You gotta walk through this metal detector.
I said, what kind of shit is this?
Mm-mm.
And had I not been in as that much pain, I would have turned around and went to Mercy. But because I was in pain,
Right.
I had no choice. So I'm sitting in the emergency room by myself in a waiting room. There was nobody in there late at night, like hoping nothing jumped off because I can't run. Like I understand where you all are, but this whole getting. It's about the no. I don't know
No,
what
it's
part of
business,
the
man. Yeah,
city
you're
you
right.
grew up
You are
in,
absolutely right.
but I lived in Park Heights. It ain't getting anything.
It been.
Been.
It's just now for me, in my most humble opinion,
Uh,
the crack babies, the pill babies are growing up, and now they are out of control. And
We I
it's
don't know
they
what
are.
age y'all are, but we're the
I,
crack babies.
yeah,
We're the
we
crack
got crack
babies.
babies in our era. Absolutely, we do.
No, I'm just saying. No, we are the crack babies.
Yeah, we are the crack babies,
Our,
but we got
our
the pill
parents'
babies now.
generations
Now
was
we
a
got the
crack.
babies who are off the pills.
Yeah, yeah,
We got the kids who are
yeah.
off the pills now.
The Zaza.
Yeah, the
watched a
Kush.
video the other day. I
That's
watched a
sad. I gotta
where
go.
I watched a video the other day where this guy, this young boy, he was walking down the street and um it was two people. It was a guy, a young looking boy laying on one step, and a lady, a old lady with like gray dreads. She was left over on the other steps, and he was taking water and pouring it on them to wake him up. And David showed me the video because the boy that was laying stretched out, like he was high, he was like spaced out, and he was laying on an abandoned steps in Baltimore. And the boy walked up to him, was like, "This don't make no sense," and threw some water on his face. Was like, "Wake up, y'all, wake up, wake up." Then he walked up to the lady, and the lady was like lumped over. She was high, and he threw the water on her. He was like, wake up, like that, wake up, y'all, wake up, like that. And I looked at David. I was like, that boy look young, like younger than me. He looks like he couldn't be nothing but like 18, 19.
But how old do you
And
think the crack? How old do you think the people were that the crack epidemic happened to first? They were the same age.
They were the same age.
That's who have
So
access to the
they
drugs
were
first.
coming home from war at 18, 19 years old, coming and being put back on these streets, and subsequently having to smoke crack to get their mind right. Getting put on crack, because they can't sleep at night.
Right.
And they can't afford cocaine.
When they was 17, and they was like 18 and 19.
Yeah.
18, 19, fighting for this country who don't give a damn about them. Subsequently, coming back, being thrown back into their hood, and now they smoke crack to get back.
I think it's unimaginable to people that children get high, but the children are who the drugs are introduced to first. Now we look at our uncles, I'm gonna use my Uncle Phil or my Uncle Eddie or my Uncle Alan. We look at them people, they actual real people. We look at them because they're in their 40s and 50s now and strung out. But they were 20 something. They were teenagers when they were first introduced to it. Maybe selling it, maybe their friends selling it and they try it. But look at the pill generation now. Like that's why they're getting so high because now the thing is pills. So who's selling the pills? The young people. Who start using the pills? The young people.
I figured that out. The doctors, it's these doctors. I watched firsthand in the previous clinic that I worked in. These doctors are just as bad that are giving these pain pills. They are just as freaking bad. I sat there and I worked for a nurse practitioner. I'm calling out. I don't care. I don't work for her no more. But if you have a rule that every so often, every 3 months, in order for prescribe you pain medication, you have to take drug tests to make sure that, number one, the pain medication is in your system. Number 2, there are no other drugs in your system. And I watched one same patient, and he was an older guy. Came 3 months for his regular follow-up because we were primary, so he had to get his cholesterol medicine, his diabetes medicine, high blood pressure medicine, but he had to come get his pain pills because he had something going on. We had to do pain management. So he the pain management, but she also, did pain management to, control his medication. This man, every time he came in, this man tested for marijuana. This man tested for marijuana every time he came in. And all she did was have a talk with him. She just had to talk with him. But then we'll have a meeting. I have to stop doing this. I'm going to start sending him the pain management and let them deal with it because I'm writing this stuff, and evidently he's doing other things, and or he's not, or she wouldn't find it in his system sometimes. She would piss him sometimes and wouldn't find a trace of the medication that he was taking other than his pain pill in his system.
But
Kay, one time he tested positive for cocaine.
But see, the healthcare system is all screwed up. And we talked before about my issue with my dentist not wanting to give me more Novocaine, well, not Novocaine, but the needle, but was willing to give me a narcotic where a pharmacy manager had to get my medication and they couldn't just give it to me when I went there. But it's a thing like on one hand, they don't think we feel pain, but they expect for us to abuse the drugs. So they give it to us knowing that it's going to cause. First thing I asked, like when I just went to the emergency room, can you give me something that's a non-narcotic or something that is more natural? I don't want something that's going to get me stuck. I don't want something that's just going to numb me. I just want to be able to manage the pain. And it just, they
so quick to give you some Pearson and oxy.
Right.
They're so quick to give you some Percocet or some oxy. I don't want that. Give me some ibuprofen or some tramadol. That's a new thing, the tramadol.
Right.
The tramadol.
But the other thing is, a lot of the patients are repeat patients. A lot of the patients that are coming in the emergency room and things like that, they repeat patients. So why these doctors keep prescribing them the same medication? And then on top of that, a lot of these doctors is abusing. I don't know how many doctors I know that I used to work with and work for. You see them in the newspaper. They have abused or wrote their own prescriptions. They writing their own prescriptions. Like, first of all, that's
what I saw and what I see. They don't. If your insurance will cover it, they gonna give it to you. If your insurance is
But
Mm-hmm.
going to cover it,
but
you say
okay,
this is wrong with
but
you, they can't prove
but
that it's not.
here's here's my issue. At the same token, I see them, especially with Medicare and Medicaid. At the same token, I see them giving these pain medications that they know are addicted to people that don't need them. But at the same token, I've watched elderly people. I've
You
watched
know how many people go up in there
every-
and just say, "Oh my God, I'm in so much pain and it's not working." They can't deny them the medication.
But the thing is, okay,
I'm
I understand.
dying.
I'm not on that. I'm not on that. I'm on what they saying. They saying about the insurance. Why are
Hmm.
you covering pain prescriptions, but these people, it's so hard for them to get diabetes medicine?
Yeah, but
Oh,
but
okay.
the difference is the people who need it, and what's unfortunate is younger and younger people who need that medication now. But what is happening, especially for elders, their Medicaid Plan B is so complicated. Like my insurance,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to go to a podiatrist for a specialist. So I couldn't just call the podiatrist up. I had to call my primary caretaker, who didn't even see me. The emergency room doctor saw me in order to get a referral. And it is this whole chain of things that you have to get approved. But when you are younger, it just goes through
Mm-hmm.
because you're not seen as somebody who's going to need it much. So they'll just approve you. But it's shameful. It is crazy that we're in these spaces where the doctors are just giving you medication, but on the other side, they're not. For the people who really need it, they're
Right,
not giving it to them. But it's
right.
bigger business for addicts. So if I can keep you an addict, I'll keep. We said it. I don't know if I was talking on another show this week, and I was saying like what happens is struggle, pain, poverty is profitable.
Yep.
That's why we don't have cures for the cancers and the HIVs and COVID. We don't have a cure for it because there's bigger business to manage it versus curing it.
That's true.
That's why
That's 100.
other countries have these cures that's illegal in the United States because the pharmaceutical company manages this country.
That's
Big
100%.
It's
business.
bigger business.
That's
Big
Our
100.
business.
pain, our struggle is profitable. So I'm gonna help you manage this. Manage care. That's
One
what it's
little
called.
tidbit before we one little tidbit before we transition. I was reading listening to a video and the guy was like, he was talking about abortion rights and why he's for abortion. And one of the ladies was like, "Well, what about the kids that are unborn, the kids you're killing? One of them could have a cure for cancer." He was like, "Ma'am, do you not understand that even if they did get born and have a cure for cancer, they still will be murdered by the US because nobody wants a cure for cancer. That's a big business. You think the U.S. is looking for a cure for cancer, ma'am? No, they are not. That is big money.
And it's been
Cancer patients
alleged
is
that
big
these
money.
cures are already out there. It's just illegal.
Yeah,
They're illegal or
it's
banned in the United
illegal.
States.
Yeah, the
How much
pharmaceutical
money would the
companies in the
pharmacy
United
make?
States is getting coins.
You know
The
how much
biggest drug dealers in America.
I worked at this center before,
They
and
are.
they would help individuals get like the HIV medication. Do you know how much each pill cost? Each pill,
Mm,
just like certain medications for elderly, each pill can be up to $1,000, if not more.
up to a
Each
thousand
pill.
dollars.
So the government
Up
is
to.
funding this money. It's just like Section 8. So the landlord will normally charge $700 to $800 for this place. But because it's now under Section 8, I'm gonna charge you $1,800 for it.
I'm gonna charge you 1,800. And I know you
So
don't
that's
want to
how
pay none of it because
pharmaceutical
I know
com-
this is guaranteed
pharmaceutical
money. So
companies
out of
work
that
based
eighteen
on
hundred,
right.
you probably only got to pay like $200 out of that eighteen hundred
Well,
dollars.
well, the
They
place
know
is
that's
only
guaranteed
worth
money,
$700.
and the place is only worth 700. Why do you think that most of these people on these on that's renting out these places only want to take housing vouchers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got Section 8 vouchers. They know that's guaranteed money.
That's what I
That
was
is
saying.
guaranteed money.
But it happens that way a lot because it just and it's sad. Like in I've been trying to find a new dentist for about 8 months now, because I just could not go back to that same person anymore who didn't value my pain or the discomfort that I felt. And not realizing you're creating a phobia in somebody's head based off of how you're treating them. But they don't care. And it's sad because it's often people that look like us that go along and get along. And we're in these spaces where they just don't care. Like I just said that the other day. Like our struggle is really profitable to them. If everybody figured out a way to get by and didn't need government, we wouldn't need social service. We wouldn't need any
We wouldn't
of
need a
the
lot.
social organizations out there. We wouldn't need most of these nonprofits. We wouldn't need social services or social. We wouldn't need any of them. And they only exist based off of someone's struggle and keeping them. They complain about people abusing the system, but you make it impossible for people to want more than what they are have. Because if I know at least I'm gonna get this $300 in food stamps every month, but if I go out and work 2 jobs, I won't even be able to afford to fill up my refrigerator
I want you
on
to be
a
able to
weekly
afford to
basis.
do it.
But if
That's right.
if I don't work, or if I work below the amount of hours that I need you to maintain this $300, then I'm gonna do that because at least I know me and my child, or if not me, I can eat.
We'll be able to eat.
Or I'll have
Yeah.
adequate health insurance where at least if something happens to me, I don't have to worry about. I have insurance. I went to the doctors. They still gave me a list of like, well, if you don't work, we'll help you pay the bill. Like, well, why are you telling me that?
Well, why are
Why
you
do you
telling
need
me
to
that?
tell me that?
Exactly.
And it just it's a real space that we're in, and I think it's time for people to stop. I mean, so you're frustrated right now. We got to do something about it. We got to put yourself in a space where something can happen, where you putting your name on a list of people who tired of these things happening, and you need numbers because we need to start getting these people out of government and out of power that are allowing these things to happen.
It
Well,
comes
this
down to us as a people. But let's transition to our topic of the day, which is something that we all need to discuss.
Something
Taboos
we
in the
talking about.
Black community. Let's get into it.
Something we started talking about last week.
Last week. I feel like as Black people, we gotta do better. We have to do better because,
Oh,
baby, ain't nobody bringing us down but us. Like, we are holding each other back.
we
And
are
it's getting ridiculous. Like,
always.
it's 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 ridiculous. It's out of hand, and it's generational curses that we need to break that we don't feel like is a generational curse. Oh, that's just something my family does, baby. That's unhealthy. That is unhealthy. Oh, everybody in my family do that. That is unhealthy. That is unhealthy. Nobody
The
talks
big,
about these things.
the biggest thing with the Black community is that seeking help is looked down upon to seek help. Like you said when we were talking about the kids in the school shootings, when you tell certain family members, they hear you go to therapy, they like, oh girl, what's wrong with you? You having a meltdown? You having a nervous breakdown? Girl, who done worked your nerves? They don't take it seriously. They don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's a thing. They don't feel like it's anything that should be. Well, I feel like I feel like it started from our
Our
parents.
grandparents, our great grandparents, our great grandparents not being
What was
able
the
to
number one
handle
rule?
the foundations of life. And then
No,
they feel like, oh, we need to go back to the old days. No, the hell we don't. No,
the
the hell
number
we
one
don't.
rule of a Black household is you keep it inside the household. That's
Keep
been
it in the house. That is
number
the
one.
worst thing.
That-
You know what I'm starting to see along a trend of Black grandmothers. And I ain't talking about the grandmothers now, the 36-year-old grandmothers. I'm talking about the grandmas, the great grandmas, the aunties, sweeping sexual assault under the fucking rug. And all we say is, oh, keep them away from Uncle Jojo, because Uncle Jojo likes to touch kids. Why the fuck is Uncle Jojo allowed at the house?
Right.
Let's
Why
keep that. Let's go there. Why the fuck is Uncle Jojo allowed at the house? So we have to stay away from him, but he can't stay away from us. Oh, it's okay for Uncle Jojo to come to the family functions, and y'all know he out here touching kids. Done touched his sister, done probably touched the niece, done probably touched the nephew with somebody, and Uncle Jojo still get to stay around.
Don't bring it up, though. Don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up, though. But and then another trait that we have to, that black women, we gotta stop fucking making our young girls feel guilty when they have been sexually assaulted. Well, what did you do? Well, why you wear that? Well, who you was with? Like, what, ma'am? Ma'am? What? Like, that don't even make sense to me.
I'm not the one.
We have to do better. And as a black mother, ain't no way in hell my daughter or my son could come to me and say, Mommy, XYZ touched me. And I'm like, don't tell nobody. I'm going to beat your ass. That stay in the house. What?
I'm going to jail. My husband going to jail. My mama going to jail. My uncle's going to jail. Everybody going to jail.
Somebody's going to die, and I'm going to be in prison.
We go to jail. Everybody go to jail.
Somebody going to die. It was the same question that was asked me. That's right, Nate. And that's the thing. It was the same questions that were asked. And I seen a video on TikTok about that. The girl said, I don't fool with my uncle because he essayed me. And subsequently, I found out he did it to my mama and my older sister. So it was the mother's, either it was the mother's brother or the mother's uncle. And he ended up doing it to her mother. She found out he did it to the sister, and then he did it to her. So you allow this man to sexually assault 3 generations of his family members, and he still get to come around? He's still living at grandma's house? He's still living in grandma's basement, and grandma still protecting him? Grandma, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then we wonder why people cut their fucking families off because I allowed it. That's right. We wonder why people cut their families off and don't want to be bothered with them, and wonder why these girls are having problems in relationships or having issues in their life. Like, you literally sitting there protecting a fucking sexual predator, and it's okay? It's okay? Like, what, Grandma?
But here's the funny part about it, though. You know how they have those? Okay, so let's think about that. But at the same token, the funny part about it is, you know how they have those websites, and they have the things where they have like the predators. They have to do the sex
offender registry.
That same family will be the same family. Those same family members that are protecting Uncle Ed will be the same family members that will let you know that the white man or the other person that's outside of that home, don't let them go down the street.
Say that.
Don't let them go down
Don't let them go down there to that white man house. That white man be in there touching kids. Oh, so we just want to ignore the fact that Uncle Jojo in here fucking the shit out of little Keisha. Oh, okay. We're going to ignore that. But he can't go past that white man house. Because he known. Everybody in the community know that he snatched up little Ray Ray and little Ray Ray. But we ain't saying nothing. We're going to keep this in the house about Uncle Jojo messing around and touching on Keisha. Even though we know. And even though we know. That white man is who fucked the uncle who. That's right. That's right, Nate. That's right. Another taboo in the black family is, why do we have to hide our kids' information from them? Why? It's not even a taboo. It's a trait. Like, I really be thinking about it. When my son got old enough to know his social security number and to be able to apply for jobs, he had to come to me and be like, Mom, what's my social security number? What? Why are you harboring that? Give your family. I'm not giving my family shit if that was me. I'm not giving my family shit. Let's talk about it. Give my family who? I don't even know nobody named Grace.
You just said
nobody named Grace. Don't even know nobody named Grace. I got a niece named Faith, but that's about all they gonna get. I don't know nobody named Grace. Nope.
Oh yeah,
it's getting crazy.
I want you to get more. just holding on to like Social Security numbers and stuff. So I think it's more of, I don't know, because it's funny because Mama did the same thing. Mama had everybody's Social Security numbers and birth certificates underneath her mattress. You went to Mama if you needed your information. So like, I don't know. What do you mean like harboring your kids' information? You mean like not showing them or letting them know what their Social Security information is?
When Jalen got old enough, I think I let Jalen learn his Social Security number when he was like 14, maybe. I don't know how old he was, but he was definitely old enough to know, okay, I don't give this number out to anybody. I need to be responsible. He was old enough to know where to go get a Social Security card, where to go get his birth certificate, how to do these things. Give me your ID. You don't need that every day. Give me your Social Security. You don't need to be holding on to these people's personal information, Grandma. Why are you holding on to that?
Well,
Pick it up, sis.
Well, the birth certificate might be because grandma don't want you to know who your mama and who your real daddy is. If your daddy stay on
you
the birth.
Gotta go to her mattress while she sleep on the other side of the bed and get the Social Security card.
It's time for. I'm gonna figure out how to give virtual hugs to Crystal because I think she be needing it. But these are children. They don't need direct access to this information because what happens when they lose it? Or what happens? They're giving out information to friends and family that they don't need. So what makes you think they won't get somebody that Social Security number? I think it should be protected. Now, when they turn 18, I think you should give them copies of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think that happened. Or you can give them the originals and you keep a copy of it because I don't know how many times I lost my Social Security card. And because my mother was who she was, she always had one waiting for me. Because she just knew. I couldn't keep my keys. How the hell am I going to keep my Social Security number? But I think your son was just mature. A lot of these children are not. They don't know how to read, Crystal. Why are you going to give them a Social Security number? Can they read it?
he know how to
No.
read. But okay, what's another taboo in the Black community that we refuse to? We refuse to get life insurance. We refuse. We out here
Is
doing
it
fake
that we
rides, putting
refuse
together
or we
fake.
don't feel like we can afford it?
Life insurance it's cheap. $15,
Yeah, but you
sometimes
have
it's
a job,
10.
Crystal. You have a job.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going to say this. The
We
insurance,
ain't
and
trying to
still a
suffer
lot of
for
our
you.
great grandparents that are maybe in their 80s and 90s right now got swindled with insurance. They got
Mm.
swindled. A lot of them have nickel and dime policies that promised that they would bury them. But what happened was the prices of funerals skyrocketed. So those same
Mm-hmm.
nickel and dime policies can't even buy them a bleeding heart.
Can't buy them nothing.
They can't buy them anything, and a lot of people got swindled from insurance companies. Have y'all ever had a family member who the insurance man used to come and collect their money every month?
Yeah.
A
My
lot of them
grandmother.
people, a
Well,
lot
she
of
wasn't
those
my grandmother,
insurance.
yeah.
But was that is your grandmother still here?
No, she's not.
Did she have all that insurance when she passed away?
I have
Probably
no
not.
idea. She's not my real grandmother.
But she probably did not have all
Well,
that
probably did not.
insurance,
Probably did
and
not.
that man was coming by there faithfully every
Every
month.
month to get her money.
And a lot of
Every
those
month.
insurance companies did not, those people who worked for the insurance companies was not giving that people money to that insurance company. So a lot of those people died without any insurance after paying
No
that amount
insurance.
every month. So what happened was their children, who is probably our grandparents or parents, was like, you know what? And then on the other side, a lot of us don't feel like we're gonna die. I think a lot of people have gotten insurance now due to the pandemic, but prior to that, you didn't. You was like, I'm healthy, I'm good, and then we doing a GoFundMe for you.
No, we find frying fish.
Mm-hmm.
Can we out you
You're
talking but
you're muted.
you're muted.
Your sound is off. Lord, go out and then come back in. But yeah, but and I understand where you're coming from, Crystal. And I think I just saw things and was given certain information why we don't
Yeah.
do things, and that was insurance is one of those things where your mother or your grandmother or your great grandmother died after paying insurance every month, or what started
And then
happening
the
with the
grandmother
insurance.
died with the insurance information on you, your brother, your sister. Grandma got all the insurance on everybody. She dead now. Don't nobody know where the
Well,
insurance is
there's a
for
way
her.
that you can figure out whether a person has insurance because the insurance is all on one database. So the funeral home
Mhm.
typically is a database that they can go to and they can figure out does this person have insurance. But that's how they found out a lot of those nickel and dime policies. And that person been paying that insurance all this time and is only worth
Mhm.
500, six
Mhm.
hundred dollars.
Mhm.
Typically, the people who had insurance
Okay.
had like welding jobs or worked for coal mines and stuff like that. So they typically
Mhm.
had insurance through their jobs. So that's how they were able to leave you something. Or if they just was very meticulous about it. But a lot of people have been swindled. Like we black people, Crystal. So a lot is no
We
excuse
black.
for us to remain ignorant, but a lot of our ignorance is based off of how we've been treated over history, throughout history. So the grace that I ask for us to give each other is not an excuse for them to remain crazy, but it's more
Who
so
is
just
them?
it don't blame them directly. And if you don't
What?
blame them, you won't be
And
as
I feel
angry.
like if there's accountability, how would they know that this is not okay?
Say something, Kay.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So if there's no
Show them.
accountability within the
Show
family,
them.
how will they know that this is not okay? How
Show
would they
them.
know?
Show them.
Show them how.
Live your life. Pay your insurance policy. And eventually they're gonna ask you something about it. They're gonna ask you,
Hmm.
well, how are you able to show him? Because we've learned how to survive in life, not thrive. So when you start learning
Hmm.
about insurance and investing and certain banks, share the information with your family.
Right.
Just share it with them. Whatever they choose to do with it is what they choose to do with it. You
Right.
know, and it's
Right.
nothing. A lot of people. I just had this conversation with my cousin last night, and he feels really bad because him and I are the creatives in the family, and we've been able to work in that field and make a living. Now he's doing way better than I'm doing, but but just the idea. And all I said to him was, just be an example. At some point, they're gonna see you rising to a certain level, and they're gonna come to you. Don't give them a handout. Teach them how to
Right.
fish.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Teach
I
that
agree with
person
that.
how to
That's
fish
true.
I agree
I
with
instead
that.
of
agree.
just giving them a couple dollars because you will go broke trying to feed them.
Trying to feed
Teach them
them.
how to
Yep.
feed themselves.
Absolutely.
But this
That's
that
I
true.
little bit of
agree
grace though. Just give them a little bit of grace. You be
I
hard
mean,
on black
me,
people.
I'm I'm hard on my people. I have to. I feel like somebody has to be. I feel like black
We
people need that
but they've
tough
been hard
love.
on
We
us
need
our
tough
whole
love,
lives though,
right.
Crystal. The
but we
government,
also
the
need
powers
the
that be, the
responsibility.
ones of
We
us that
can't.
get out of the community, hard on us.
No, we cannot keep coddling black people. We
It's
cannot. We
nobody
cannot.
coddling, but Crystal, you were
We
given an
cannot.
opportunity. You were given that job. Somebody gave you an opportunity. The
I worked
information
hard
that
for
you
it.
have, somebody presented an idea to you, even
Right.
for this, even if it was something that you want to do, it was presented as an idea for you. And somebody who had a platform allowed you to come on and do what you do best. Talk.
Right. Talk.
But giving those opportunities to people. Like
Right.
I can, some of my family members, they look at me as if I'm doing something that is astronomically outside of their league. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you can do the same thing. I've invited family members on my platform, and they won't come because they don't feel like they have anything to say. And I've heard them
They
say
don't.
that
They can't get past the mental capacity of opening up your mouth and just talking. Like for
because they
me,
don't want
I
people
won't
to
invite
know
my
the
mother on the
truth.
show. My mother cannot come on my show. Why? Because she don't know what to say. She don't know.
Yeah,
She
but I
no. She
but I
can't come.
bet you, I will bet you hardcore $100
Give
if
her
she came
topic.
on here
You will lose.
Her nerves will be in a space where she would just follow your lead.
You'll
I'll bet
lose.
you $100.
And give her a
You'll
topic.
lose.
You got to give
You'll
And
her
I
a
lose.
want my
topic.
money. I want my money in cash,
I will
not food stamps.
100% bet you on that. You will lose.
I bet you. Okay. You got
have
$100.
a
Let me show you
topic.
my money.
Give her a topic.
Give her a
Right.
topic.
Yeah, give her a
But
What
topic.
to talk about?
That lady got so much to talk about. Give her a topic.
right,
I
but
guess.
what's her strong suit? Like
Negativity.
but you
Negativity.
expected her for you. Your expectation for her is low because of
She can
what
talk
your
about being a
personal
grandparent.
relationship.
Totem pole.
Being a
Bottom.
grandparent. She can talk about being a grandparent. She can talk about.
What's her
it's so
strong
many
suit?
things. Yeah.
Find
negative.
what her strong suit is,
Being
and go with.
negative.
Yeah,
You
but I
said
don't see her being negative when y'all snapping those outside pictures when y'all in the
right,
club
but what?
or
You
eating
just
And
dinner.
then
don't
the
know
other
the
thing,
half. You
and
don't
then
know
the
the half.
and then the other thing is, Nate, what was one of the biggest things she said when we had a conversation about our mothers? She said her and her mother has come so far along in their relationship.
I'm
Talk
saying,
about
like,
that.
I'm saying come far as to being able to just exist in the same space without there being any.
But
I
isn't
snap
that
you, don't
growth
become a
though?
snap you.
But that's
I
growth.
mean,
Like
in a little bit, in a
understand her
little bit.
story though. I get it. I spent my whole life mad at my mother for choosing my father. I've been pissed at her for literally until I was about 37. I'm 39 now. I was so pissed at her for choosing how could you didn't see shit in him? But then I started learning my father my father worked up until his death. Like he was a hardworking man, and that's what she saw. She didn't see hardworking men in her life. But at least he had a job when she met him. He never was out of job. He didn't do shit he was supposed to do with that money, but he had a job. That's what she saw out of him. He was handsome, he was cute, but he had a job. That wasn't what she saw out of the men. All the men that she knew was hustlers or getting over or wasn't doing shit.
Right.
So you understand what the story behind things were. Some of the story behind the choices. Sometimes they didn't have any choices, so you had to pick who you picked. And the way you are as hard as you are is because of your experience with her. Well, why is she so hard? It didn't start with her. So those are the types of things that we can introduce to our family. So now when I talk to my family, I don't talk to them in a manner of get your shit together. I'm asking them questions like why?
Right.
And a lot of them they're not used to being asked that. So you hear
And for
a little
me, when you
stutter.
start with the bullshit ass excuses, I have no tolerance for it.
But it's not an
I have no
excuse.
tolerance.
That's her reality. It's not an excuse. It's
But then
not.
it's like,
It's not.
we have to stop being afraid to move forward because it's
But you're
like,
not moving forward though, Crystal. You are staying back there. You're not moving forward. I don't see you moving forward. I see you stuck in your feelings.
me?
You.
Oh no.
As progressive as your personality is, your emotions are not half as
I can say
progressive.
my emotional stance is definitely is slow with the progression. It is. My emotional stance is slow with the progression.
So
Very slow.
if Kay was to say get out your feelings, you'd be like, these are my feelings. I can feel however I want to feel.
No, if she be like, get out your feelings, I'm like, I'm not in my feelings.
Denial.
I'm just saying.
Y'all look at this. Hold on, time out. Look, okay, speaking of the taboo in the Black community, I'm sitting here, I'm on the podcast, and this guy just walked up to me and gave me this.
Gibson.
He's running for Senate district.
Yes.
You should tell him the same thing that the school system told you. I don't live here, so I can't give you.
I don't live here. I can't vote.
can't accept
I'm
that.
not a registered voter for this state.
Right.
They say you should have told her the same thing.
You should have
I
told
don't
her
live here. I don't have any proof of residency. I can't vote for you.
Can't vote for you. They won't let me. They won't let my kids in school. I won't be a registered voter for this raggedy ass state. That's what you should tell them. Yeah. Send them that.
Oh God. See, that's the Baltimore and y'all got those up north attitudes.
Yeah.
These people so nice. They come walk up to you, they say good morning. Y'all just giving them, y'all just already
I'm a person. I used to be told as a child, stop speaking to people so much.
No.
I used to speak to everybody. I still do. I love speaking to somebody who will look at me and don't
When I first moved to Baltimore, I was like, hi, hello, how are you? They like, why the fuck you keep speaking to people? Because that's what I do. Y'all don't just speak to people. Hello, hi.
Because people in Baltimore, I mean, it's not just Baltimore. It's people they think you want something. What happens? What happens with a homeless person? You speak to a homeless person, and then they ask you for $1. People don't want to be asked for nothing.
I was just speaking. I was just saying, have a great day. Don't ask me if I have $1, because I don't. I don't.
So I have a taboo for you all. Allowing black men to show emotion.
Okay, I'm with that.
I'll say it this way: accepting that black men have emotions.
I am learning.
Well, she is slowing down. Look how she's slowing.
I am learning
that is bullshit. Because them niggas ain't got no fucking. That's what she's thinking.
I know what she's saying.
I am learning that we as black women have to allow a certain space for a black man to feel like he is safe to open up that emotion and not make him feel like he a bitch. I am learning that now.
So I'll ask you this. If you didn't have a son, would you feel that way?
If I didn't have a son, would I feel that way? Absolutely, I would. I would.
How old would you have been before you really accepted that truth?
Probably about 30.
50.
30.
60. 60.
30.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. But do you see how having a son makes a difference?
I'm going to say 30. I do see how having a son makes a difference, but I'm going to say 30 because a lot of the men that I know was not even allowed the space to say, I need to show this emotion. That's what I feel like a lot of black men need to be able to do. Like, y'all be so up fucking tight, and then it's like, I've never been that type of mother to be like, stop fucking crying, you a boy. I don't do that. Now, if he fall, okay, get up. It's all right. You all right. You don't need to cry. It ain't no nigga. You know, all that. I'm gonna punch you in your chest. No, I ain't never been that type of person.
And that's the mother talking like that. That's not even the father.
And that's the mother talking. Right. That ain't even the father. But I've never been that type of person to be like, nigga, you a boy, man up. You ain't gotta cry. No, I ain't never been like that.
But how did you treat the men in your life, not your child? Because you, as a mother, your nurturing will naturally come through.
I feel like the men in my life never. I don't know if I can honestly say this, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know if I allow them that space to be emotional. I don't know if I was that safe space for them. I don't know if they didn't open up because they thought maybe she would judge me, or I don't know if they didn't open up because they thought maybe
you had judged them.
No, I wouldn't say that I had, but I've had several men cry in front of me, and I was like, I wasn't like, no damn nigga, fuck is wrong with you? It was like
but you gave them that look.
Okay.
But what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I was thinking like, well, the first time it happened to me, I was like, why is he crying to me? Like, he don't know me. Why he talking to me? Like, why he doing that in front of me? I don't know you. Like, I came here for one thing. Why are you crying? In my mind. I'm thinking like, why are you fucking crying? You don't even know me. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. Why are you breaking down in
but listen to your response. That's why he did it. But that's why he did it.
I'm like, when he was crying, I'm
like. But guess what? That's why he did it, because you didn't have any other ties to him. You may not have known his boys or his family, or you may not have known those things. So I can break down in front of a stranger. Isn't that sad? But I can't go to my family and friends.
I had this conversation with a good friend of mine recently about a situation with someone that we know. And subsequently, her significant other has really started drinking really heavy. And when I thought about it, I said to myself, the person that she is, the woman that she is, would not allow her husband enough space to say, I need to vent to you, because she's so tough, she's so rough, she's so rugged. And this man has literally experienced 3 deaths within a year that was very significant to him or her family. And which would also be him, essentially, because they've been together for like 13 years. So essentially, that would be somebody close to him too. So he experienced 2 deaths in her family and his father passing away within a year of each other. So for me, it was like I sat and I thought about it. I said, this man is probably drinking and lashing out, as you may say, because he is grieving and subsequently cannot go to his wife to say, I'm hurting. Because you're going to look at him and be like, nigga, man the fuck up, nigga, get your shit, instead of saying, you know what, let's go get you some help. Because not only is he dealing with the loss, the grief of a loss, he's also dealing with issues with a
displaced
child.
anger and emotions.
He's also dealing with issues that she's having within herself that he has to now take on, because she's depressed. She's having suicidal thoughts. She's having these emotions, and he's taking that on too as a man. And it's like now his back is up against the wall, and instead of him coming out swinging, he's gonna do what some men do best. I'm about to drink this shit away, fuck it, and wake up the next day not knowing that problem is still going to be there, which is why you're drinking every day. You don't want to come home. You want to, you just want to lash out in a sense, because nobody's paying attention. Nobody's listening. Nobody's checking on his mental.
But listen to what you said prior to that, though. She is in a toxic space. So how is she supposed to be aware that he needs help?
Yeah, there's no way.
But that's the cycle that we're in. And now, and I'm going to stick to just our families. Our family and our close friends. That's the cycle that we're in. Because we're not aware of what our needs are in terms of getting support or help. So us looking at other people like, nigga, I'm waking up every day dealing with this shit. So can you. And that's typically how women respond to things. I'd have been through all this shit, and you sit up here crying.
Typically black women. I can honestly say that. We as black women have to do better when it comes to making sure that the black man mental health is good.
No. You got to make sure yours is good, because if you're not good, but if you're as a black woman, if your health is not good, you can the eyes that you're looking through to me at is altered, is crazy. Like the fact that you are not well or whole or 100%, you are looking at me through broken glasses. It's like that's how you. So the help that you tell me I need, you're so delusional that you don't even see that you need it first. For you to even be aware or be able to see me going through something. And Kay sitting over here acting like she just gonna be quiet. But we're not gonna let Kay be quiet.
We're not gonna let Kay be quiet, because
she thought she was slick.
Yes, she did.
We see
my
you.
question to her is, how did you handle your husband's mental health when his father passed away? Even though I know, that the connection is not really there, but still somewhere in the back of our minds, we all get a little fucked up if one of our parents pass away. Like, even though I don't have a good relationship with my mother, if she died, I'm going to still be like, damn, shorty gone. I'm going to be a little fucked up about it. Not as much as most people have a deep connection, but I'm going to be like, damn, shorty gone. Position. Yeah, okay.
You will be somewhere in the fetal.
Go ahead, Kay. How did you handle your husband's mental health or his emotions when his father passed away?
Well, he didn't show. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Before you answer that, how did you handle his mental health when his father passed away versus when the grandmother passed away?
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
There you go.
father passed away, they really weren't that close. So when his father passed away, he really never showed any emotion. It really took him. It took him a long time. I would say it took him almost a year or so that for me to actually realize that he was affected by it. He just came out of nowhere one day and was just like, my father died and I never got to say I love you. I never got to say anything. That messed him up mentally. Because he pushed his father away so long for so many years because his father had the drug addiction.
Yeah.
So it pushed him away. He pushed his father away for so long that when his father passed away right at the end, and I kind of feel like it's weird, but I kind of feel like some people know when they're gonna pass away, like they know when they're gonna die because they start doing strange things that they've never done before. And it was like right before his father passed away, he started calling him, where his father would never contact him, only contact him when he needed money. When he needed money, he would reach out to David through Facebook, Instagram, everything. But the last couple of days before he passed away in that week, he called him multiple times just to conversate with him. He never asked for money. He just called him multiple times just to conversate with him because David was so used to him calling when he wanted money. He never really responded. He only basically sent text messages like, I'm busy, I'm at work, I'm here, I'm there. So when he went to the funeral, he walked in there, he walked out, everybody was crying. Like even his mother was crying. They've been divorced for so long. Like he just did not do anything. And almost a year or so later, he broke down. Like he out of nowhere, he just was drinking and he just broke down and was like, he cried. It was like, oh, I never got a chance to tell my father I love him. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know. I'm not a person that you can come to and really cry on their shoulders per se. I don't have that ease in me I'm just not, some people just don't know what to say in events like that. I don't know what to say. So the only thing I could do was to just sit there and listen. The same with his grandmother. When his grandmother passed away, we were all affected because I did see his grandmother, not as much as I see my own grandmother, but we talked. I did see her often. Sometimes I would go visit his grandmother without him. So I did have, a different connection versus his father. I think I only seen his father twice of me and him being married. I only seen his father twice in passing. Yeah, that really affected him in a different manner. When his grandmother passed away, it's still affecting him now, even more so since we're back down here. And he still, goes to his grandmother's house, which is still up where his brother stays now. So he still has to go into that same house. He still has to, we still pass the same street. And I don't know, David's just, it takes something in him to break down. But he really is not an emotional person. It really takes something to break him down. But he really doesn't show a lot of emotion. He doesn't show a lot of emotions at all, which, like I said, I feel bad in saying it, and I don't know how people would take it, but to me, it's a good thing for me that he don't show too many emotions because I'm not an emotional person. I don't know how to talk.
Do you think that's why he don't show emotion? Because he know you wouldn't know how to handle it?
Matter of fact, you know what? You're right, because he has said that to me before. He doesn't.
Are you comfortable staying in that space of not? So it's one thing for you not to be an emotional person, but not giving people space that you are responsible for to be able to show those things. Because often when we have friends or family, we don't go. And the first thing that friend or family member says, why didn't you come to me? Well, you're not open like that. So why would I share that with you?
Yeah.
But are you comfortable being at that space, or what are you doing to be more open to other people, your children and your husband, to be able to open up to you?
It's like what you said with BlackRoses. When it comes to women, if you're not okay, you can't be okay for somebody else. So I am mentally, with help of psychologists and things like that. I'm trying to change because I know that that's a bad factor, especially when I have kids. Especially boys. I have boys. I have girls. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to understand and be that understanding, be that that sensitive person, and be there. I can't. I don't know why.
Well,
I
I'll
don't.
say the same thing that I just said to my mother because she always wondered why I never came to her for anything. Imagine something astronomical happen to your child and they don't come to you because they
I
don't
think
feel
about
that
that.
you'll
Yeah,
receive it.
I think about that. So I really do work on myself. I work on myself. I work on how I try to have those conversations with them, those day-to-day conversations. I try to open up conversations. I try to basically do it in my way to make them feel more comfortable. Like I'll open up conversations and I'll kind of put myself out there. I'll put
Mm-hmm.
myself out there because that is my fear. I don't want my kids to not want to come to me, to not feel like they can talk to me. That is one of my biggest fears. I think about that so often. Sometimes it gives
Mm-hmm.
me anxiety to have them not be comfortable enough to come to me and tell me anything that they need to talk to. I hate that, I would hate if they ended up going to some dingbat friend, to get
Or no
something
one at all.
or no,
Or no
exactly.
one at all.
Exactly. So I really am working. I really push myself out. I really step outside of my comfort zone when it comes to my kids. Even my husband, I do try to do way better. I try to be there, even though, like I said, it's just an uncomfortable space for me. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, like I have bad parents. I don't have bad parents. My mom has been on here before. My mom, she leaves all the time. When she comes and visit me, she gives hugs. She, sends text messages to say I love you, even when I, grew up
And
as a
just
child.
reminder, she did say us for us to come down. I'm just going to just put that out there.
She did. She still said it. Y'all can come down. But yeah, I just I never had, a bad childhood where I didn't hear those I love yous and those hugs and those, sitting at the table and eating dinner. I never had that type of childhood. So I don't know where it came from. It's just it's just
It,
something
but
I,
but just know you're saying that, but somebody was missing. Now
Something
you
was
may have had
missing.
the
my
look
real
of a
father,
complete. You may have had that look of a complete family, but when you realized something was missing, something was missing.
my real father,
Hmm.
my real father wasn't there. I had my
That's what I'm
stepfather.
just saying. And it messes up some parents when they hear that. They was like, no, because I married a really good man and he was really, yeah, but it wasn't the man.
Right. Which I never really, which is
Hmm.
crazy because I didn't realize my stepfather was my stepfather until I got older, and and my mother got a divorce. That's when I realized my
Hmm.
stepfather was my stepfather. I never realized my stepfather was my stepfather because they got married so young.
Is that when this emotional thing started with you?
No, I always been like that. I've
Mm.
always been like that as a child. I've always been like that. I hated to have those sentimental conversations when my mother would come in the room and she know, parents know when something is wrong with their kids. So she would come in, or I would shut myself out and always want to be in the room to myself. And she would come and she would ask me, my parents would ask me, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's wrong? What's going on with you today? Why are you not saying anything? Why are you shutting yourself in your room? And I will push them away. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I can't tell you what's wrong with me. To this
And
day, like
therapy can
I
help you
don't
to
know.
discover that. Therapy is there to help you discover that point for you. Like no matter
Mhm.
how perfect your that's why we have some of these dudes out here. You like nigga, you out here selling drugs. Both of your parents work hard and your family loves you and such and such, such and such. But it's something happened that disconnected you from that ability to be able to share or to whether somebody didn't recognize your feelings or somebody significant overlooked. And it could be something as simple as didn't come to a game or
Right,
didn't acknowledge that you love being an artist and
right.
didn't recognize it in another sibling or it could be something to the outside world is something very minute, but to
But can
you it was
somebody
the
just be?
biggest thing.
But can somebody just be? Even though you have everything, because again, you're saying that, but I was given every opportunity to do like all of my me and all my siblings, and we all went in different ways. I have one sibling that's locked up, one sibling that's not here, not by his fault at all, but he did have some things.
Mm-hmm.
He sold drugs. We all kind of split and went our separate ways as far as life took us, but we all were given the same opportunities. I mean, I was in modeling, we did I was given all those opportunities to be who I wanted to be.
But you
So
just named a bunch of stuff. You named stuff and things. The
that's what I'm saying.
people,
It affects
people often
somebody.
matter. People,
Just,
people often matter more to children than things. Children will forget what you gave them. They'll forget what you said to them. They'll forget, events, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
right,
And even if it wasn't a direct family member, it could be, and I'm just for example, it could just be something happened that detached you from expressing your feelings, whether you felt like you couldn't express them or they wasn't important enough, or this sibling may, and it may not have been even from your parents. It could have been just from somebody else you loved or somebody you came across. But often we find ourselves, well, this is just who I am. That's not healthy. So how do you figure out how to then be able to deal with that, because you have sons and a daughter?
right.
So you never want your daughter to pick up that behavior,
At
and
all.
then
I
she's in a relationship with somebody who beating the hell out of her and she won't say anything. Or a son who is going through these toxic relationships with women who don't express their feelings, and they just dealing with it. Now they got children and they just dealing with it, and they're unhappy, so they drinking or they fucking everybody in sight. So
Well,
it
that's what I
it
said.
comes out in different ways.
I really try my best to, step outside of my comfort zone. My mother is real helpful with, I do
Hmm.
have conversations with her now as an adult. I have conversations with her because I tell her everything about, my kids. And then I have the discussions, me and my husband, we have discussions as well about things that are going on with our kids. And between the both of us, you know, I feel like between the both of us, if I'm not able to have certain conversations, he's willing to step up and have that conversation. So I'm
What
really
about
trying.
the ones with you though? Because you just mentioned everything about your parents, your child, your man. What about you?
That's what I'm saying.
How do you know? How do you express you?
I don't. I don't express myself, but you ain't finna put me up here like we in there.
She don't want that heat.
Ain't
She don't want that
going no
heat, baby.
therapy with
She don't
you.
want that heat.
No, but those are, even if you don't have an answer right now, those are things that you
I
need to start
don't.
questioning yourself, because you're, as a mom, you typically handle everything.
I
But
don't.
you,
I
but
don't.
you.
One
Real.
big ball of emotion.
I don't. Literally with myself. I'm gonna be honest. With myself. Some days I just sit here and I'm lost. Like I don't know with myself. I am having
Hmm.
so much trouble just trying to find myself because especially with the so many events that happened to me over the last 4 years. It's been
Hmm.
3 since Randy passed away and then my grandmother passed away right back. I am really just trying to find my happy. And it has nothing to do with not, I don't want anybody to judge me and think, oh, she got a husband. She ain't happy.
And
She
you
got a
say you tell her
man.
come talk to me.
Nothing.
That's right.
I don't want to come talk to you, mother. Get off.
You can't talk to me.
Yep.
You
See,
come
Crystal.
talk to the grandmother, huh?
See, she said, "Come on down." But
But
it's what happens is you are getting to a certain age now where you have to know yourself,
right,
or the
Yeah.
same issues from your teens, from your 20s, and now your 30s are going to come back up. And things start recycling themselves when you have not faced them. But the other side of that is now your children are moving to a space in their life as teenagers where a lot of this stuff started becoming real to you. So
right,
now the cycle will start again start for them in the same space, because it may not have been like your mom may have been very open and very loving, but it was the things that she didn't say that you saw. It was the stuff she didn't deal with, or you saw family members not dealing with, and it wasn't anything negative per se, but it was more so these things. I'm going through this, but I'm gonna be a mother right now, and I'm gonna sit that to the side. And
Right.
that's what your children pick up on. That's how your children learn. They learn from the stuff we don't say, we don't show them, because they can see it. They can feel like we feel. They may not know what to do with
Biggest
it.
thing, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the biggest thing. My issue is I understand that. I understand that you want to be honest. I understand that you
Mhm.
want so kids can pick up on that. I understand that. But with me, it's like, how do you have these conversations with them without traumatizing them to feel like, oh, am I not happy? Am I not good enough for my mother to be happy? Things like that. That's the things that I think about. Like I
But
don't.
you talk to them about, like, the way you said you do it. You put yourself on the hot seat. You don't make
Yeah.
it about them. So you're not necessarily, you're not talking to them in a preventative way, but you're sharing your stories with them. And each one of them may need a different story from you, or
Right.
based off of what you see them doing,
Right.
or see coming from them, or see similarities in them. You
Right.
don't, I wish my mother would have shared more about her with me versus just trying to keep me from hanging around certain people. How you know that friend was going to end up a drug dealer?
Right.
How do you know that that person was no good for me? Share your personal experience with me that tells me how you know that's going to happen.
True.
My mother used to be like, this friend, don't hang out with them. They don't mean you no good. He gonna end up a drug dealer. Man, you can't tell me. I said this. Man, you can't tell me who
Wait
my
a minute.
friends can
The
be.
mothers telling their kids that whole time I am the drug dealer. Hello.
Right, but at the same time, they don't you think they know that? But they know that this friend is the one that introduced it to you, because they
I
had that
am the
same
drug
friend.
dealer.
They may have had that same friend, or they may have been that same friend.
Oh
Ma,
no.
share that with me. Ma, if you was a whole, share it with me,
That's what
You
I
because
was
right.
now,
saying.
because
Right.
what
If
I'm
you was
going
a
through
hoe,
right
share that
now,
with me, please.
because what I'm going through right now is real whole face stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
need to know, I need to acknowledge it. And you may be able to tell me something that be like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be a. Maybe the whole life ain't for me.
I wish.
But we don't share stuff, and then what
We don't
happens?
share.
Your child ends up that my mother was so protective over us.
I am.
My mother didn't. I don't know if she had a child when she was younger and aborted it or whatever, but she was very. I'm just saying, but she was very protective over us. And what happened to my sister? She wound up getting pregnant at 15 because
Oh
she had such
wow.
a hold on us. Like, I don't know how to ride a bike because we wasn't allowed to go outside.
What?
I mean, something that simple. But this,
What?
I never had a curfew because I was never allowed to go outside. So
What?
when I turned 18, I smoked a cigarette in front of my mother for the first time. Never even wanted a cigarette,
Oh, you
but
buck
I
wild. Oh,
but
you
I
went
smoked
off.
I smoked a cigarette just because I felt like I was grown,
Oh, you
and
went off.
literally that what happened was I smoked a cigarette. I smelled my hand. And was like, She's like, I told you you don't want to smoke cigarettes. She
He
knew
said
she
I did
knew
it
my
because
temperament.
just because I wanted to smoke it in front of her, just because she told me I couldn't, I did it.
No, but because she couldn't tell me I couldn't.
Yeah.
Now I got slapped by my grandmother because it was her cigarette, and you're not gonna be wasting my cigarettes. But I started doing things like that, like bucking
Oh,
and
you
doing
want to
like
smoke?
hanging out. I
Like,
went from 18
yeah.
to maybe like 25. I was going out heavy. I was befriending everybody who wanted to be my everything. And it was a lot of stuff that she told me not. But if she would have shared her personal experience, which she never did, like it would have made a difference to me. Those
Right.
are the type of lessons. But I saw how she was treated by her siblings, and guess what? I let
Mm-hmm.
my siblings treat me the same way,
Mm.
or I let my family treat me the same way I saw my mom. Because I that's how our children learn. They learn by watching you. They don't listen to nothing you say.
Don't listen to shit you say. But
Look,
look at
did we listen to our part? You can say it now. I don't think Miss Angela gonna be mad now. But did you listen
You
to
know,
everything that she told you to do?
I ain't listen to her.
You
I just told
purposely
her.
did what she told you not to do because she told
Right.
you not to do
Me
it.
and my brothers and them
Mhm.
with me and Randy, specifically Randy, we would go and wait until we
Look
get
at
in
her, she
front of
bringing other people into it, Crystal.
Right. Don't bring
How
him
you
in
gonna
this.
bring? How you gonna
we
snitch
was
on somebody?
No, for real. We would wait. We would sit in front of her. We would go over her house. We had days where we would meet over my mother's house, but she still stayed in Baltimore. And me and my brother, the one that passed away, and my little brother, we would sit at the table and tell her all the stuff that we used to do. That no, we would tell her. We would tell her stuff that we used to do that she didn't know we did. Like that time that Randy got chased by the police, and he made me come pick him up. And Crystal, remember you was there. Remember? You
no. Angie, I had no problem. She lied.
We're not robbing no bank with her.
She lied. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now her mother looking at you different now.
No, her mother like, I knew Crystal wasn't no good. It wasn't none of
my child would have never did that on her own.
Right. I knew Crystal was a bad influence. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Woo. And he told Crystal you was. Crystal, I had that white
I learned that I wasn't supposed to learn. I learned from Shakia.
Okay. But see, she set you up this time because she said that last week. She said you were the reason I was doing certain things. She said that last week. She been dry snitching on you this whole week.
Wait a minute. She's the reason why I did certain things. I didn't have a mind of my own. I was a green girl from Mississippi, didn't know a fucking soul, hooked up with this heifer, and my life just been tumultuous ever since. I can't, no.
We was experiencing life together. I didn't know anything either, so we was experiencing life together.
Jumping off them steps together. I see you. It's amazing, but just from my experience and now being around children listen to the stuff that you don't say. Because they don't have that thing that adults, that reasonable thinking where we read between lines.
When we tell kids not to do something, we have to stop giving them the explanation of because I said so.
Even that, you have to stop doing it yourself.
True. Don't do that. Why? Because I said so. But why you say so? Why you say so, man? Why you don't want
children will definitely whine you to death. Why?
Yeah, why?
And you know why they whine you? Because you're doing it. You just told them you gotta stop cussing in class, but yet that's how you communicate with them.
That's how my husband is. My husband tell them kids, now that's his one pet peeve. He will tell them kids up and down, you better not smoke, I better not catch you smoking, but he smokes cigarettes. And the kids are to the point where they tell him, like, why does that? They come to me, and I'm like, go ask your father.
Yeah. But see, children don't have that rationale in them. Meaning, so as an adult, if I tell you or you tell me, Nate, don't drink because it's not for you. Don't drink. I know you're telling me, and you are drunk. So I know you're telling me because you are drunk. A child doesn't see that. A child sees you drinking and telling them not to drink.
But here's the thing, though. They know the reason why. They'll come to me and say, Mommy, why does Daddy smoke and he knows smoking will kill you? I don't know. Ask your father. So they know the reason why.
So that's my point. They don't have it because he's telling them because it's so hard for him to stop. Like, that's not what he's saying to them. Right. Or he's saying that to them, but they see him still smoking.
I get what you're saying.
So they don't know how hard it is.
Yeah, that's what I got. So I see what you're saying. So you're saying the conversation should be more about this is why I can't stop smoking because it's a
Make it about you.
Not to. Right. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Make it about you because now you're sharing your experience, and they don't feel like they're in the spotlight. Oh, you just sharing your story. Now, sometimes they still will not want to hear it. But think about some of the lessons that your mother gave you where you was like, man, I wish she shut up. But then at some point, 20 years later, that same experience happens to you.
Yes. It's like a playback.
Yeah.
It's a playback. When I see these kids do some of the stuff that they do, I'm like, really? Like, I really ain't did this. I ain't that old. I just did this. So I know that you're doing it because I already did it. So I know what it looked like.
and because of how I was raised, like I snuck out the house a couple times. And I ain't even do nothing. I went to the playground. I didn't even like do nothing real. I just went to the playground.
Not
and
going
it was such a weird thing.
Anytime.
It was such a weird because I couldn't go nowhere.
not knowing that you could have got
And
kidnapped.
I could look out my bedroom window and see my friends playing on the playground.
Being grown. Now, if you'd have got that green card, then
Being
you'd have known something.
Yeah, but now as an adult, like the pandemic, the fact that we had to stay in the house for 2 years, I was good. As an adult now, I am good not doing anything. But as a child, it was like even in my early 20s, I just had to be out the house. Like
Outside, right.
if it was a snow day, I would make my way to the office or to the studio or to the radio station. I just would make my way there because I could not stay in the house. Because I could not stay there. And I was just so mad and angry. But as an adult, I'm like, Nate, you can chill. Just chill. Conserve your energy.
Right. That's true. That is so
Now
true.
somebody else about to start snitching on you, Crystal.
Okay. When we used to sneak out. Listen, sneaking out was definitely one of the highlights. And man, it'd be like, man, we had a time last night. Sneaking out and then trying to get back in the house, boy, that'd be something else. Oh my God. Sneaking out the house. I used to leave the basement door unlocked. Like, I used to go through and then here's the thing. I never really had a reason to sneak out. I just wanted to do it to see what it felt like. I never had a reason to sneak out the house. Never. But I did. I never had a reason. My mother didn't give a damn about what I did. So it was like, I used to sneak out just to be sneaking out.
That's what I can say. Why did everybody sneak out? Like, I used to sneak out of my grandmother's front window at night.
And it was like, I had no reason to because my mother didn't give a fuck about what I did. She did not care. But I just did it just to see what it felt like. Because I'm like, oh my God, I want to sneak out. My friend's sneaking out. I want to sneak out. What you sneaking out for?
Now did Jalen sneak out?
Oh, girl, I'm sure. I'm positive Jalen snuck out the house. Absolutely.
Because I'm like, I kind of want to see.
When I lived around the corner on Caroline Street, he had his own floor. I had my own floor, but he had to go past my floor to get to his floor. However, my room was on the opposite side of the house than his was.
Yeah,
so he could just sneak up the steps and boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't know.
So he wasn't sneaking out. He was sneaking people in. He wasn't sneaking out.
He was probably sneaking people in. Oh yeah, he definitely snuck girls in. I remember one time when I was when me and Wardell had just got together and I was spending the night over his house. One day I came home, he had like girls all in there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They snuck out the back door. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, like I was like, what's going on in here? Like by the girls radar. It was crazy. But yeah, like it was.
Did you allow him to have friends over, or he?
I always any place I ever lived, I always wanted Jalen to feel like he had a safe space for him and his friends to hang out. I never wanted my house was not the house to be like a bunch of people running in and out. It was never the ghetto house.
That he had so many girls.
It was just
that's why they snuck out.
Yeah, but my thing was he always was allowed to have his friends over, always.
So they had a big old orgy. Like,
girl, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I was definitely like, what the hell going on in here?
Did he get in trouble?
He did. Yes, ma'am. He sure did.
Okay.
I need to say this. My future husband got to know that I'm an emotional person, and he needs to know that no matter what happens, I'm going to always be emotional. I'm going to always have some type of emotion going on.
You going to always cry?
Shut up. I'm going to cry when I need to cry, and I need to be able to know that you're that safe space for me, and I'm going to be that safe space for you.
I think it's better. You know what? Now that you say it, now that I'm thinking about me versus you, I'm going to be honest. I think it is better to cry. I think it's better to cry because now that I'm thinking, and ever since psychologist Nate then got on here and had a conversation with me, I feel like now it's like now that I'm listening and I'm thinking, I'm like, God, it might be terrifying to hold all my time in for so long, because if the wrong person approached me, I'm going to jail.
I'm going to jail.
Because
somebody's going to the morgue and I'm going to jail.
I'm harboring so many emotions. Like, I don't want to let my emotions
out. Girl, they reserve Ubers. They Ubers be outside. They be sneaking out the back door, honey. I'm telling you, the Uber be up the street.
I'm getting one of them ring bells. I'm gonna get a ring bell because I want to know all your. I'm gonna get them sneak little, them sneak things that you put on the window that it sound the little alarm thing off. They don't even know about. I'm gonna get them because I'm gonna be standing right on the other side of the window, like, What you think?
These days, but I never. I don't know. I never had a reason to sneak out. I just did it just because.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what makes every kid has done it? What makes us sneak out? Like, I can't think what makes us.
Some kids they can't go like Nate said. He couldn't go outside. He couldn't go places, so he had to sneak out. But
because I know it's coming. I know that it's coming. I know that all of my kids are going to sneak outside.
You know why? They got a curfew and it's a hot party going on, and the party starts at 10. You know how that go. It's a party tonight. You want me to be in the house by 8. The party start at 9. You want me to be in the house by 8 o'clock? No, it's coming. It's coming.
Well, I don't want them to have those type of friends where your mama know you having your party starting at 10 o'clock. Cause why your child ain't in bed at 10 o'clock? I don't want my child with your child if you letting your child party start at 10 o'clock.
You listen, it's coming. You gonna come across one of them kids who parents is always on the go, ain't never in the house. Ain't never in the house, and they just having house parties all with them.
No, and that's what I know it's coming. I am cringing for all of this because I know it's coming. I have a 14-year-old. David came to me the other day in the room, and he was like, "Do you realize that we get ready to have a whole adult son in 3 more years? He is in high school. In 3 years, we're gonna have a whole adult son, our first adult son."
Listen, that shit hit you so fast. Life comes at you fast. It comes at you so fast. But my thing is, I don't even see David being the one sneaking out. I see Kylie being the one sneaking out.
That's the one.
I don't even see David. I see David covering for Kylie.
That's the one because that's your godson, so he gonna act the same way you act.
I don't even see David being the one sneaking out. I see David being the one covering for him.
And Gemma. David and Gemma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
David and Gemma. Because Gemma gonna try. I know Gemma gonna try me. I'm waiting for Gemma to try me. She keeps telling me, we have these conversations, and she tells me all the time, "Mommy, I'm gonna love you forever. I'm gonna be your best friend." And I tell her, I'm like, "Gemma, listen, I understand where we at now. I love mommy. Everything's about mommy." But
you are so mean. Not you giving her the life lesson early.
So there's gonna come a time where you're gonna hate me and you're not gonna like me. And I ain't gonna do nothing to you. You're just not gonna like me. So I want you to understand that early. That you gonna be my best friend, but
these words, we're gonna be best friends forever. Remember that. We're
not gonna be best friends. I'm telling you, we're not gonna be best friends forever. There's gonna be a time where you're gonna say, "I hate mommy," and I don't even know why I hate her. I just hate her. And I'm okay with that because I know it's coming. I'm preparing myself because I know it's coming. But then we're gonna be best friends after that again. But it's gonna be that time where we just not going. We just not go. I already know it's coming. That's always been me. In terms of having a child, I never wanted a girl because I'm like, I can't get along with girls. I don't do good with girls. My daughter loves me to freaking death. She admires me. She wants to dress like me. She sits there and tells me, "Mommy, when I get older, I want to dress like you. I want to wear your shoes. Our feet gonna be the same size so I can wear the same shoes like you. I want to wear necklaces and lipstick and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, she's watching me. Let me be mindful about that."
Mm-hmm.
So I even, I have my times where, I'm stressed. So I have to smoke and things like that. And I almost forgot that the other day. Somebody walked past me and was like, "You want to hit this?" And I sure enough was like, yep, I'm stressed. But then I had to look and I looked back for just that minute and see my kids standing behind me. I was like, "Don't smoke." And I put it down. I'm like, I forgot. My smoking is supposed to be behind closed doors. They supposed to be in front of y'all. Don't smoke. It's not good for you. But I thought about in just that instant, I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot. She is really watching me." It's hard. Parenthood is hard. Don't y'all sit there and be trying to lie, play this game like, "Oh, you the perfect parent." Being a perfect parent and try to do this and try to do it is very hard being a parent. No matter what age you are, I don't care how young you are. I don't care if you right at the age that they say you're supposed to have kids. I don't care if you too damn old to have kids. Parenting is hard. People say, they too old.
Well, it's harder when you have more than one child.
The older people, they might feel like they're more knowledgeable so they can raise kids. The younger people, they feel like, "Oh, I'm younger so I can keep up with them." Hell no. Parenting is hard. It's hard as hell.
Tamika said that our daughters watch everything good and bad. Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Daughters watch everything. Everything.
Absolutely.
I wish I
And
had a daughter.
you
I
can
need
have
a- No, thank you. I want my own.
she said the party starts because the parents go merge their party.
With the kids. Yeah.
That's true.
Or the parents is out of town.
Out of town. That's what I gotta say. They out of town.
Out of town. They starting the party at 10 o'clock. They got to get the booze. They got to find the local drunk, the neighborhood drunk to go in there and get them the booze.
Get off the alcohol.
Get them the booze so they can be drunk at the party. Yeah, all that. Somebody got to bring the snacks. Somebody got to go to the store get the snacks. So, yeah, they going to have that already because they got their money on their little Cash App card.
The only thing, my only issue that I think about now, I think about so much now that I'm older. The only thing that I think about now, honestly, I really realized that my mom, even though I said I'm not that daughter, I'm not that, I'm not that daughter, but I do realize that my mom and my stepfather are there for all the questions that I need to, need answered as far as parenthood, as far as parenting, as far as my kids and things like that. When I don't know the answer, they are there. And that is my biggest fear, that, the older these kids get, your parents get older, they pass away, things happen. That is my biggest fear, that there is some day where I will need a question answered from my mother about one of my kids or my daughter, and she won't be there. That's my biggest fear.
And that's when you have to channel your inner Angie and give her your inner Angie answer. Because nobody knows her like you know her. You're her firstborn. You're the one that went through all these things with her, all these life changes with your mother. You've seen it all. You've done it all. So that's when you have to channel your inner Angie and say, WWAD. What would Angie do? What would Angie do?
Angie go with ass.
WWAS. What would Angie say? Yeah, you have to channel your inner Angie and say, how would my mother handle this situation? What would my mother say? And then I believe that in that time is when you will become an emotional person that you thought you would never be. In my opinion.
You're right. I still cry, but you're right. I'm gonna call you.
No, ma'am, because I'm gonna give them the wrong. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna give them the wrong thing. I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I ain't never had to deal with that before, baby. I don't know. My child wasn't that bad. My child.
Like, what are the things? Okay, what about? Okay, all right. I know this is the last part, and I don't want to get too far in this. Oh my God, is a big water bug crawling on my car? Oh, I almost had a heart attack. But anyway, I don't want to give too much out. I don't want to get too in depth. Did you ask? This is my fear with my teenage boys and masturbation. Did you have to deal with this with your
Absolutely, I did.
What do you do? Like, what happens to? I'm like, this is what I'm cringing. I'm like,
absolutely, I did.
At what age do they start doing?
Baby, mine started at 9, honey. 9. Listen, that's what I'm telling you. These cell phones, stop. I'm sorry, y'all. These cell phones are deadly. Mine started at 9, honey.
Because my thing is, like, where do they start? Because my son is like 14, and I'm like, is they doing stuff now, or do I need to give them some privacy now? Do they need some special privacy? I don't know. It's just nasty. I don't know.
Okay, but listen, you gonna find these. You gonna find them. You gonna find the towels, the socks. You gonna find it all. You gonna see him in the bathroom for a long time. The porn is only the fuel. It isn't the start. It ain't the starter. Them hormones get the kicking, and that girl get the liking them, and he get the feeling himself, and he get the looking down there and seeing what's going on. Baby, it's going.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because they don't really talk to. Well, to my knowledge, they don't really talk to or look at girls. We ask them all the time, which I know he ain't gonna tell me. He ain't gonna say, yeah, I look. They don't really discuss that. And like, David does try to push them, like when we go to like the beach or something like that, and it'd be some little girls standing around. He'd kind of tell me, stand off. He'd kind of tell me, stand off. Why you going over there? Leave them alone. Stand off. So, but then it's funny because then he'll come over there like, they ain't even say nothing to the girls. So then at the same time, he pushing them like, say something to the girls. Stop just sitting there. Like, it's weird. I don't know. I'm just cringing. Like I said, I'm just cringing. I'm waiting for it. You know, I know it's coming. I know that there's going to be, you know, David is in high school, so I know this is the time. He in high school. He not from here. He got a Baltimore accent. He a up north boy, and he dressed, and he dark skinned with dimples. So, and he's smart. So yeah, they gonna come out the woodworks. And then Kylie is an extreme pretty boy. Kylie sits in the mirror and he rubs his chin and he looks at himself from the side and he puts his cologne on and he's in the mirror more. And Kylie is a 13-year-old. Kylie the one in the mirror. He the one putting the cologne on before he go out to the store. You going to the store with your mama. What you put cologne on for? Let's go. Let's go, sir. You wasting my time. I want to get to the store before it get crowded. I don't need you to go find your cologne. I'm cringing, but at the same time, I know it's coming. So I'm just like, just come on already. So it can be like the end of your pregnancy. Like, just come on and be over it so I can get, to the next step. That's how I kind of feel like, just come on. Just come on and date already so I can know what I can prepare myself for. Come on, just date.
Nothing will prepare you for it. You just have to just be ready. Be ready.
I don't know.
That is the show, guys.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
And if y'all come back next week, when y'all come back next week, please help KD with some solutions. If you have adult kids, give me some solutions.
There's nothing that we can say that will prepare KD for this masturbation that's gonna go on for years. For years. And she has 3 boys. So it's gonna be happening for years on end. Hopefully by the time Cameron become a teenager, you'll have it down. What's about to happen, you'll have a lotion already in the room ready for him. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to I.Am.She Podcast.
Yes.
On Instagram and Facebook, and on YouTube under the Artist Exchange. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe.
If you want to be a sponsor, don't forget to you can reach us if you want to become a sponsor. If you like the show, you want to see more of us, we can always use sponsors. So if you want to become a sponsor or a guest, you can become a guest as well on the show. You can just email us at PodcastIAmShe.
Peanut butter no, girl. Peanut butter no. It look nasty too.
I.Am.She. PodcastIAmShe@gmail.com. Y'all can hit us up all day if y'all want to become a sponsor or a guest. And we do have, as soon as we do have some announcements coming up pretty soon about our 1-year anniversary. We will be getting into that really soon to get you guys in on our 1-year anniversary. Hopefully it's something that we can have you guys come out, do a meet and greet with KD and BlackRoses, possibly, some wine, maybe some crackers, a little thing like that. We'll get it together and we will come up with an announcement for you guys. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being so supportive. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Bye. Have a great Saturday. He just cut me off. I'm like, enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Excuse me.
Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, guys, because we still live.
Right, you still live. Go ahead.
Oh, enjoy your Labor Day weekend, guys. Take the Monday off and do something. Go to the fair. Do something fun. Bye. That's it. That's all I had to say.